Dust is becoming more visible in our daily lives. A Fresno allergy, asthma, and sinus specialist says he's seeing more patients complaining about dust.
Now, a new study by a UC Merced assistant professor shows fallowed farmlands dominate man-made dust sources here in California.
Fox 20 reporter Rich Rodriguez spent time this week following the valley's dusty trail.
Last November, an endless wave of dust rolled through central California. The intense dust storm called Haboob triggered a number of crashes on valley highways. Where did the dust come from? A UC Merced environmental science assistant professor believes fallowed farmland in the Central Valley is to blame for high levels of anthropogenic dust. It's a big word used to describe human activities that have an impact on nature.
After you've left those lands for a number of years, the crops on those lands have become dried up, exposing the land. Now that makes it easy for a strong winds to pick up those soil particles and then make them become airborne dust particles.
Professor Adabiyi says it's gotten worse in the past couple of decades.
And as you know, we already have a huge pollution problem to begin with, so adding dust to it doesn't really help.
Wolf farming on the west side of the valley grows an assortment of nuts and row crops. Its newest commodity is the agave plant, which requires very little water. Their farms cover 20,000 acres, but produce surface water, and new rules that limit groundwater pumping have forced them to cut back.
Right now, we've been fallowing about, and again, it varies year to year, but about 20 to 25% of our acreage.
The Public Policy Institute of California estimates that the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, designed to reduce using water from below, could force farmers statewide to idle up to 1 million acres.
When we have our real windy days, it can get dusty, and a lot of these fallow fields certainly kick up more dust.
In the UC Merced study, Assistant Professor Adabiyi would like to see cover crops planted on fallow fields.
It's what we do on top of the land after we take it out of production, right? Can we plant some things over it to make sure that wind erosion doesn't become a problem? So far, we have not actually spoken to local farmers yet, but we think it's something that we definitely have to do to try to explain to them.
It's not so simple to say, well, just go plant a bunch of seed out there and put a cover crop on it and everything's going to be okay. We'll have other risks associated with that and other costs.
Wolf says a cover crop can become a host for all kinds of insects that can invade neighboring fields. He adds, there are additional expenses to plant and irrigate a cover crop with little value. The UC Merced study also focused on what dust is doing to our health. Valley fever tops the list. Allergy, asthma, and sinus specialist Dr. Praveen Budiga says he's seeing more patients impacted by dust.
Usually we think of asthma when we see chronic cough in the valley, but in this case we got a chest x-ray and it was very kind of different in terms of the chest x-ray was full of little foggy type areas.
Dr. Budiga believes an increase in construction around Fresno and Clovis is responsible for more valley fever cases.
When the dust comes out of the ground from the soil and around, also it uproots the fungus known as coccidioidomycosis, which is responsible for valley fever.
According to the State Department of Public Health, California had the highest number of valley fever cases in 2024, 12,637, up from 9,210 the year before. Right now, California health officials aren't sounding the alarm about dust concerns in the midsection of the state. Professor Adabiyi spearheaded the study to create awareness.
The issue has been that we are seeing more and more dust storm, potentially because of this issue that we're raising in this paper. Then that is a point of concern, even if it is not a big deal yet.
If the problem isn't addressed, Professor Adabiyi says there's a chance Dust Bowl conditions from the 1930s could return. Rich Rodriguez, Fox 26 News.
If you'd like to read the UC Merced study on dust due to fallowed fields, you can find the link on our website, KMPH.com.
Oh, as we heard, valley fever is caused by fungal spores that live in the dirt and in the soil. And when the dirt and dust are stirred up, people can then get the valley fever by breathing in the dust that contains those spores. That's why this is so connected to cycles of drought and rain. It turns out that most of those who are affected actually have no symptoms, and their bodies fight this off naturally. But those who do get sick develop a number of symptoms 1 to 3 weeks after breathing in that fungus. Let's take a look at some of those symptoms. These can include cough, fever, chest pain, rash, headache, night sweats, and joint pain. And in a lot of these cases, according to health officials, people are more likely to get infected in the late summer as well as the fall. Now, here's the numbers that we've really felt were a little bit alarming here. Data from the California Department of Public Health shows that the number of reported valley fever cases in our region actually surpassed last year's totals in some counties already. For example, in Fresno County, we see 195 cases total were reported in 2024. As of March 31st of this year, there have already been 277 cases. Let's check to the north. Merced County, in this case, in 2024, 40 cases. As of the end of March of this year, already at 49 cases. And Tulare County, let's take a look. 2024, 146 cases. As of March 31st, 164 cases already.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.